Let me get my brain going. Okay. Friday. You coming?
Yeah.
Meeting here.
Yeah.
Meeting here. Meeting here. Talking here. Okay. Megan, you coming Friday?
As of right now.
Okay. The Dr. Brooks, something came up, quote unquote, that's all I know. So when we go on this Ag Lab trip Friday, we're going to be going to this bull auction. And this lecture today is only going to end up being 20 some odd minutes today, but it's tailored toward what we're going to be doing Friday at the auction. So I'm going to talk a couple minutes about Friday and then let her talk about the EPDs, that kind of stuff, then we'll come back to it. But what we're doing at the auction, well, before I get to the genetic, first rule of thumb, when you're in the auction, don't be waving your hands, raising your hands, gesticulating in any way whatsoever. I've had
No head nods.
No head nods. I've had students lodge bids accidentally and got called out by the auctioneer for it. So unless you want to be embarrassed in front of 150 people out there that are trying to buy a couple $100,000 bulls, just during the bidding process,
If you bid on something, you get it, right?
if you're the final bidder, you got to buy it. Yes.
You gotta have somebody talk about
Yeah, that's the prayer. And that's why, if you don't want to accidentally buy a bull, you keep your hands down and you're not gesticulating, whatever, you just didn't put it. If you're going to be pulling out your phone to text, respond to text, and make sure that phone is down behind the back of the person sitting in front of you, something like that, so nothing can be mistaken for anything. I'm going to talk to the auctioneers. They got a couple of people working the floor. I'm going to talk to the one that's going to be working our area of the ring, and I'm going to tell them, see those people up there? They're college students. They've got any money, so ignore them. I'm going to try to do that. But we, like, just. Oh, yeah, they ain't going to be nothing for $1. They're going to have some of it they're going to put out there, and they're going to be asking for a couple $1,000. If nobody says anything, they're going to say, okay, moving on. And they're not going to lower the price any lower than whatever they're going to lower it to. That was crazy.
They got the reserve.
Yes. So this, and a lot of these sales, I mean, it's not like you're going to be sitting there going twitchy because, I mean, they put up this bull and in 90 seconds you sold. Maybe 2 minutes, and then you got a minute break while they're sitting there talking about the next one, and then there you go. But we had a guy a couple of years ago. He actually worked out there, and I think he was on the phone, and I think he was actually trying to bid on like the fourth one, talking to his father. I guess I didn't end up talking to Ben. I think that's what was happening. And okay. But then he was well behaved, whatever. But then later, it was like he's talking on his phone or something to his girlfriend. It was across the way. And he like waved to her, something like that. And next thing you know, that was it. And because he kind of was in trouble because he'd already bid on an earlier one or whatever. So just he lodged the bids. Then a little bit later, he did something, and auctioneer's like, "Are you trying to bid, son?" No. Keep your hands down. I mean, just right. And then last year we had somebody that. I think it just the auctioneer just sort of looked at it.
Don't like those fake bids.
Yes, they looked at it. And technically, you could get in trouble. And that's especially where Ben, he worked there. They could accuse him of purposely running up the price of bulls, that kind of stuff. So, he just don't do it. Yes, yeah. So, but it's going to be interesting because you're going to end up seeing, you got people there, and a lot of people, I don't want anybody to know that it's me that's bidding because if my worst enemy's in there next to me, I'm bidding on this bull, then they're going to try to screw me over and try to bid up. So, you got these people, they do a quick little flip of the finger or anything like that, a little head nod or something like that kind of thing. That's what you got to be careful what you're doing. You might accidentally be lodging a bid, but there's going to be people on the phone. You're going to have a couple people, like the most expensive bull a couple of years ago sold for over $200,000. And the guy that was buying it, he's sitting on the phone and he's talking to somebody in Texas, and that's where they bull and we're going to. And so you've got a couple of people that are, they call them brokers, that are sitting there on, they just showed up, bid on the top 2 or 3 bulls, and then they're done.
Did you hear about that cow they had in Australia? 6'4". Yeah. It's 6'4".
the cows.
No.
That you can look, if you get some time, look it up. They have it in a picture of the herd, and he's just towers over.
Head and shoulders over everybody else.
They can't. They're not even going to eat it. So
Yes. Yes.
Can you imagine 6'4" though?
Yeah, that reminds me. Remind me to come back to something about that body condition. Something. If I
Body
remember what it
conditions
is.
for.
Okay. Yeah. I have to remember what it is, so I'll get there. But there'll also be people placing bids on the internet. It used to be up until about 3 years ago. They used to actually trot the bull in, and he's right there in front of you. You can look at him and bid on him, and then they trot the bull out, and then they run the next one in. That's the way it was when I used to go there when I was younger than y'all. But now they're doing it with video. So they got a picture, video of the bull that's there, and so it's streamed on the internet. There's people bidding on the internet. So in the back window, there's people on the computer that are sitting there monitoring the internet or whatever, taking bids there. So you're not just bidding against the people in there. So the issue that if you're looking at a little video that was shot however many days ago or whatever, and then, okay, you got to go and inspect the bulls beforehand, because the EPDs, expected progeny difference, what we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes, is looking at how well do we think these kids that this bull is going to produce, how well do we think they're going to perform. You got to look at what we call the conformation of the bull. You know, its legs, its back, its spine. Does it look like it's old and spindly and about ready to fall over and die? Does it look like if you touched it hard, it's going to break a leg or something like that? In that case, that bull may have good genetics, but it ain't going to be able to perform its job, right? So you got to look at that as far as structural soundness. How solidly built is that cow? Does it look like? You see some people that you look like humans. You know some humans that you look like, yeah, if I smack them real hard, I'd break them in half. You know, there's people like that. And you see some people that are wobbling around with, shuffling along when they're walking, and they can't half walk. You know, well, they can't half walk. There's a lot of other things that they can't do. And you need to have the bull in good enough health. If you're going to be spending this kind of money, that bull needs to be in good enough health to be able to perform for you for several years in the future. So when you get there, you're going to be eyeballing. Well, first you're going to get the catalog. It's going to have all these EPD numbers. It's going to have what the expected performance of the offspring. They're going to how much faster they're going to be putting on weight compared to the previous generation. How compared to the industry average, how much faster they can put on weight, how much faster they can put on milk to produce milk, how much less calving birth difficulties they're going to be having. You can have these numbers. So you look at these numbers, you sort of come up with how much do I think that's worth to me? And then you go out there and you look at the bull, and you're going to be looking at the ones that you're already interested in, and you're going to be eyeballing them to look at, is this bull physically going to be capable of delivering the goods? Just like when you're buying a car, you don't just blindly show up at a car lot and say, oh no, show me what you got, right? You already have an idea because you've already looked on the internet as far as horsepower, gas mileage, and that kind of stuff. You've looked at the numbers, and then you go look at the car, right? And that's what you'll end up doing here. So when we get there, first thing, we'll get catalogs for everybody, and it'll have the EPD numbers in there, and you can start looking. And you can start telling right off the bat which ones are bringing in big money, and they're going to be the ones in front of the catalog, right? And they're going to be the first ones they sell. They don't want any people to run out of money buying the bad bulls and not have the money to spend on the good bulls, right? So the best ones are going to be going first. So you'll have the catalogs to look at, and we'll go over there and look at the cows, and we can be eyeballing them, and y'all can try to evaluate how structurally sound you think they are and that kind of stuff. And then when we go into the show ring when they're bidding, see how well your guesses are. That's kind of the plan. Hopefully we're going to end up getting Dalton, the auctioneer, to talk to us for a few minutes about the way they do things there, and their auctioning, and a little bit of the history of farm. We got him to talk to us last couple of years, got his father to talk to us, and he'll probably end up talking to us again as well. Seemed like there was something else that I wanted to say there about that. But anyway, that's sort of the plan. So we're going to end up going there, and they'll feed us too. They usually have like russet stew and something else, and some cakes and chips and stuff, so free lunch. So who says there's no such thing as free lunch? So there's all that. So we'll get there. We'll be milling around, talking to a couple people, milling around, looking at the bull stall for like an hour or so. Then the auction will start, and pretty much we'll probably sit there while they sell the Anguses, and then maybe we'll stick around to see what the highest price Hereford one is going to be. Then we'll snake on out to. We'll get there at about 11. The bidding starts at like noon, and then we'll be out at probably 1:30 because once you've seen them sell 20 bulls, then seeing the 21st one release, you're going to add much to value. Okay. But there again, when we go to sneak out, if they happen to be bidding on something, we got to sneak out quietly with our hands down and that kind of stuff. And not nodding thank you to people while we're walking out, right? If you don't want to buy a bull. You had a question?
I think you answered it.
Okay.
But how many gets done well there? About 20?
Oh no, they'll sell. They'll sell probably 60 of them. I've got, if I think about it, I mean, well, I've got my catalogs from the last couple of years sales in my office. I should have brought them here.
Freaking auctioneer to make a bag, man. Look, 20%.
Yeah. The way this is the family, the Bennett family is the one they're raising, and they're the ones responsible for probably 2/3 of the bulls that are getting sold at this thing. Other people, yeah, other people will bring in and sell a few of them, some of them, but most of these are raised by the Bennett family. I think we talked about this when we were at Randolph Manor. They actually, when you buy the bull, you get the bull. And you only get like 2/3 of the interest of the semen production of said bull. So if you raise that bull and you're collecting semen and you're trying to sell it through select sires or something like that, 1/3 of the money comes back to the Bennett farm.
Forget that.
So you're buying.
If I'm buying the bull,
you're buying almost the whole bull. And so, but that's going to factor into the price. If you're buying almost the full bull, you won't be paying the same price you would pay if you were getting a full bull, kind of thing. So, they're selling their bulls, so they're not getting that kickback, but the kickback they're getting is what the money they're getting selling bull, and then
you don't have to pay that. They're not going for the extra 20%.
Yeah, they're not doing an extra 20%. It's just that, but then they get the whatever return. Whatever happens from that bull going forward. So, yes,
that's a good business.
Yes, it is. They drive nice trucks. I'll just leave it.
Right. Didn't you say they sold one? How much they sell one for that year?
That's right. I think I had it. It was like 235,000. I think was the number. Maybe I can't remember. It's been a few days since I typed that up.
They pretty much made all of that.
But that just, and I mean, it's like 2 years ago, like the high, or 3 years ago, the most expensive one was like 40,000. But then I think it was last year they had like 3 or 4 of them that went for over 100. And so,
and what do they sell the semen in? Like what, like a gallon?
No, it's going to be a little vial because it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much. It's going to be a vial by maybe the size of a marker. Right. And it's only going to be partially full. The vial that they use for blood tests.
Horses that have like a big gallons of it.
Well, no, they're again, it's going to be coming in a vial because you can have individual.
I thought one of them produced like a big gallon of stuff.
Oh, I know they produce a bunch. You catch a bunch, but then you get to separate it out into small little portions, serving sizes, if you will. Yes, because if the cow you want to impregnate only needs an ounce, you don't want to give them a gallon because that's wasted money. So, but yeah, you
how much would you say an average cost?
Honestly, I haven't looked. It depends on the PV numbers of the bulls. I can't believe we're into all of this, but you can. There are catalogs that if you board one day, go to selectsires.com and they'll have a list of bulls. And this catalog is going to look like the catalog we're going to get Friday. It's going to be pictures of bulls and all their genetic information, and you place your order from whatever bull, and they'll send you however many vials worth of semen from that bull, at whatever the cost happens. And so I'm sure they do it on the internet now. I mean, I haven't actually looked, but that's just because we have bulls on foot. So,
how many auctioneers are there in Virginia? I would think more people. A lot of people would be doing that gig.
Well, part of the thing is raising bulls and bulls only is a different ball game than just raising cows. And a lot of farms, you may have 100 cows, but you only need a couple of bulls. So, and you keep those bulls for several years. So it's a little bit like your cell phone. How often do you replace them? not that often, and it's pretty expensive when you replace them. So there's not that many bulls getting sold per state per year.
How long have they been around for a while?
They've been doing it for a while. You can go to, I think it's elpressfarm.com. I think I put the link on the email I sent you the other day. You can read about the history. It'll be in the catalog somewhere there. But yeah, they've been doing it a while now. I mean, they're one of the people that, it's Red House, Virginia. Anybody ever heard of Red House, Virginia? Well, I knew it. I live 150 miles away. I was going to their sales when I was a kid. When I walked into that sales ring, it was like 3 years ago, the first time I went with Ag. I walked in, I'm like, where did I know this place? I remember running around as a kid and just, anyway, a little puppy they wanted to do. So the other thing I think I wanted to tell you, it wasn't exactly a body confirmation thing, but we were talking about grading beef, a few weeks ago in my marketing class, so that's not for y'all. But help me remember this from marketing class, whoever's in there. Absolutely not.
I think it already.
Yes, you did. But due to our genetics, improved nutrition, and that kind of stuff, in the last year. And this number may be shocking. You know, when you grade cows, you got prime, you got choice, you got select, you got the different grades. 9% of the cows this last year got graded as being prime. And that's up.
Oh.
That is up. I want to say it's like 9% is prime, and then it was like another 70% ended up being short. So 80% of the cows this year that we're going to market ended up breeding choice or prime, which is an improvement from like 10 years ago where it was only about 60% were choice or prime. But when you think of that prime target, out of all those cows out there, only 9% of them graded prime. And that's why they fetch big bucks, because it's kind of a hard target to hit. And that's why these genetics and stuff end up being kind of important to give you the cows. It's going to give you the cows because you get more money for prime, because prime is better and there ain't as many of them out there.
But see, you can't sell a bull before you know if it's prime or not.
Oh yeah, the bull doesn't get graded as prime because bull he's gonna be old, he's gonna be tough, he's gonna but that's where the EPDs come in. As far as your cows that you can be breeding this bull too. And then you look at the EPDs, you start looking at what kind of impact do I think, how is this going to improve the performance of the cows that I'm going to have next year and year after to improve what I have. And if most of my cows this year were choice, well, maybe by improving my bull, maybe a few more of these might slot next year, might end up going from choice to prime. And that's the hope there. But then nutrition and all that kind of stuff fits in as far as all of that. Yeah, I went into all of this because this is sort of animal production, but y'all are taking an animal science class. That's the difference. There's a difference between science. Science is the science behind animals, where animal production is about how to raise them, how to sell them, how to care for them, and all that kind of stuff that I'm hoping to bring back a production-based class. But it just, since the science lecture is only like 20 minutes long a day, I thought good time in 20 minutes worth of production here, because it's different than the other stuff, but that's something to think about. Any other questions on any of that? Happy, horrified, scared, angry?
That was fun.
Yeah. So, so you keep your hands down and bring a lot of money with you Friday, and there you go.
Did I take checks?
No, quite possibly they may take checks. I don't. Beware your credit card probably won't have high enough. But I mean, they'll have some bulls out there you can get for $1,000, couple $1,000. So you can get an affordable one that maybe you can put on a credit card.
Some I can buy a pretty good car.
Yes. And actually, one of our students last year, she and her husband, they've got a cattle farm, and they actually were out there. She was actually trying to bid on a couple of bulls, so she didn't sit with us. She ended up sitting elsewhere because she didn't want us to know what she was doing. Okay, and she's on the phone with her husband or whatever, and she took a shot on a couple of
the auctioneer going.
Huh?
And I say, we're gonna get another 1,000, we're gonna get another 1,000,
Yeah.
2,000.
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of that, talking fast. Like you
Like
said.
the roads up.
Yeah, I mean,
I just hate when they're really trying for it, man. Some of them go.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, when that bull last year, when it was going up to headed toward the $200,000 mark, yeah, and you could just feel the energy. I mean, it was like somebody shot electricity, lightning in the building. I mean, everybody's like, because like I said, we're going in there expecting like 30, 40 like we did last year, and then it's like 200.
Quarter of them.
Great thing. It was like, and I mean, you knew that there was something going on there, and there's these two. It really ended up there's two guys standing there on phones in the back of the room, and they're bidding against each other. And everybody else just like
Texas 500,000 acre ranches.
yeah. And we're all just sitting there going, "Oh, it's nice to be rich, but that ain't me." Anyway, so here is 20 minutes on EPDs if I can find the play button. And
Some of that.
Yeah, some of those ranches out in Texas are crazy. What I know, what is like the King Ranch? It's like 1 million acres or something.
It's
Oh.
Facebook.
Spacebar, will get rid of that. Okay.
EPD PowerPoint, which is only like 6 slides, so it's not very long.
Oh, hang on a second. Let me pause.
Are called expect.
I remembered one other thing that I was supposed to tell y'all. Sorry. She has posted a new assignment on Blackboard. It is Issues in Animal Science. It is due Friday, December 7th. She told me to tell y'all to watch out for it. It should already be there. And sometime next week, she's going to review for the next test, either Monday, Wednesday. I'm not quite sure which kind of thing, but there you go. But assignment, Issues in Animal Science, due December 7th. And now I will shut up.
Excited.
Exit progeny differences. And so I know that y'all are going to a cattle sale tomorrow, so Dixie wanted me to kind of talk about this and explain what they are, because you can actually get access to these before you go. So what are EPD? And actually, from everything I've seen, I want to call it EPDs, but EPD actually means expected progeny differences. So with the acronym, you don't have to put an S on there. So they're termed expected progeny differences in cattle. And so basically what these are genetic predictions that producers can use when making selection decisions. So notice I have predictions underlined there. They are not the exact known values. They are predictions based on calculations and data that have been done looking at the offspring of certain animals. So progeny just means offspring. It's just a fancy word for offspring. So you could look at this as expected offspring differences. And so EPDs are often provided by anyone that's wishing to market animals, such as seed stock producers or bull studs, because obviously if they want someone to use their animal or use their animal's genetics, they need to kind of provide some information on maybe why that animal is better than others. So they can be really helpful to help producers make this. So why are they important? Like I said, they can aid producers in selecting animals based on genetic potential. So of course you can look at an animal and you can kind of tell, does it have good conformation, does it have leg problems? There are some general things that you can see, but you can't look at an animal and really know that much about its genetic potential. So it's an important factor. And so things in beef cattle production, such as carcass growth, maternal traits, reproductive traits, can't be adequately selected for just by physical observation. So you can't really look at an animal and think like, oh, that animal is going to produce a lot of milk if you know nothing about the genetics of that animal. So it can't be done by physical observation of a potential animal just in the pasture or the sale range. So values are readily available on registered animals from breed associations. So they should be fairly easy to get a hold of when you are looking for another animal to use. So how do you actually use EPDs? So you got the information and you have it. How do you actually use it? So the EPD of one animal is meaningless because EPDs are important because they compare multiple animals to each other. So it's used to compare 2 or more animals or to compare an animal to a breed average. So every major breed that has EPDs will have kind of a breed average. Compare each animal to kind of what's expected or what's typical for that breed. So you can see if an animal is kind of better than its normal breed average or if it's worse. So for an example, an Angus bull that has a weaning weight, so there are EPDs for different categories. You have like birth weight, weaning weight, yearling weight, and we'll see that in a second when I show you the example. But so an Angus bull with a weaning weight EPD that's published from the American Angus Association can't be compared with the Charolais bull with a weaning weight EPD reported from the Charolais Association. So they can only be compared within a breed. So that's really important to understand because the way that breeds report EPDs might be a little bit different what went into that calculation. So don't just get one on a Charolais animal and an Angus and try to compare bulls using those EPDs because that's not going to really be a fair comparison. You need to compare them to their own breed, like so there are other animals within their own breed. So again, that's because the two different associations report animals based on a different basis and use information calculated in different analysis. So this is an example of some EPDs and what this might look like. So this is just an example of a beef sire summary. So you see that it has the bull name, the registration number, so that you know which specific animal you're talking about, birth weight, weaning weight, milk production, and yearling weight. And so obviously if you have a bull, that milk production, all these numbers are going to be calculated from how their offspring perform. So you get that milk because you may think, okay, why do I have milk information on the bull? That's because that bull is passing on traits to its female offspring, and they will collect data on how well the female offspring produce milk. And so that's why you can see a milk EPD there for bulls. So has anyone ever used EPDs before or understand kind of how they work? Just curious. Okay, so I think you're going to get some practice tomorrow looking at it. So the way that these work is, so for this example, you have bull A, bull B, and bull C, and then down at the bottom you have the breed average. So you see these numbers, and there's two rows, and so for right now we'll ignore the bottom row. We'll talk about that in a second. So we'll look at this top row for every animal where you see either a minus or a plus. And so basically how you read this is, for example, if you're looking at weaning weight, that animal is plus 54, whereas bull B is plus 21. So if you want to figure out if bull A, how much better is bull A than bull B, you would find the difference between 54 and 21, which is 33. So you know that if you go with bull A, calves of bull A are going to be approximately 33 pounds heavier at weaning weight than those of bull B. So does everybody kind of see how that works? Or just, let me run through that again. I'll do another example. So if you wanted to compare bull B and bull C, so bull C at weaning weight, you see that is plus 46, and so bull B is plus 21. So if you do 46 minus 21, the difference between those two bulls is 25 pounds. So you can see that bull C would kind of give you a 25-pound advantage in weaning weight compared to bull B. And so that's why you can't look at just one animal, because these numbers need to be compared to other animals so that you can make your decision based on the animals that you're looking at or based on how one animal compares to the breed average. So for example, for weaning weight, you can see that bull A is above the breed average. And then if you just want to know specifically how much, you just do 54 minus 28, and it's 26 pounds better than the breed average. So that's going to tell you that if you want heavier animals at weaning, you should probably go with bull A. Does everybody kind of see that? Okay, so there's another part that will come into this in a second. And so another thing I want to point out is that you see here for birth weight, you have -3 for bull A, -3.1, -1.9 for bull C. In what type of situation would you want maybe a bull that's going to have calves with a lower birth weight? Anybody tell me?
Breeding the young heifers.
Correct. Yes, if you're breeding to young heifers, because especially if it's a first-time heifer, they have more chances of having difficulty, and so you don't want to breed a first-time heifer to a bull that is going to add birth weight and have bigger calves at birth. So sometimes I feel like when you first see those numbers, you're thinking, oh, well, we want growth, we want bigger animals. Why would we want to lose out on birth weight? And that's a very, very important thing to look at, because when you are breeding a first-time heifers, you want maybe a bull that's going to have calves that are a little bit smaller at birth. And so, like, for example, with bull A, what's really interesting can sometimes happen is that bull A actually has that benefit of having smaller calves at birth, so you could potentially move it to a first heifer. But then by weaning weight, they're better. So sometimes you look at that. So not necessarily with that bull having to really sacrifice growth, even though the calves are maybe a little bit smaller than the other ones at birth, they're catching up very rapidly by weaning. So that's just something that's good to look at. And so, all right, for this example, so if we're looking at weaning weight, we're kind of thinking, okay, well, bull A might be good, right? So the next part that comes into this is that line that's under those numbers. So you see in parentheses, there's 0.66, 0.66, and then 0.75. You see all those numbers. So if you look down here, that's a should be like a superscript. That's the accuracy for the EPD. So I'm going to flip over to this for a second, and I'm going to explain what that number means and why that needs to come into play. So every EPD has what's called an accuracy measurement. So basically, this is just a measure of how confident a producer can be in the value that's there, and it tells the producer how much data has been collected on that animal. So as more information is gathered on the offspring of that animal, the accuracy will improve. So now you get into the problem, or not the problem, but the situation where you need to decide if you want to go with a proven sire or a young sire. Because proven sires are going to have more, they will have had more offspring, they've been around longer, they're going to have a lot more data. So more likely their EPD is going to be a lot more accurate than a young sire who hasn't had that many offspring yet. So the way that accuracy works is that it ranges from 0 to 1. So 0 would mean that there's no information on that animal, and 1 means that the true genetic value is known. So they're 100% accurate if it's 1. So therefore, the closer that the number is to 1, the more accurate that EPD prediction is. Does that make sense? Everybody understand that? Everybody with me? So in reality, though, most accuracies that you're going to see on EPDs are going to range from about 0.4 to 99, because you're never going to know 100% that is the true value that you 100% guaranteed at. The highest that you would see. And most of the time you're going to see accuracies in that range, because animals that have accuracy values less than that are generally reported. So even at 40% accuracy, that's still not very, you can't really be very confident in that value. So obviously anything less than 40, they're not even going to bother putting on the camera. And that may be different depending on which breed you're looking at, or kind of what where you are. And how people report that, but typically they're not going to report anything kind of lower, because they really can't at that point, 30% or something. They're really not that confident in that. So going back to the table, how do we know what accuracy means? So we see that bull A has a 54-pound weaning weight, or addition to weaning weight. So it's obviously 33 pounds better than bull B. However, what is something that kind of like that you notice about bull A compared to the other two? Given what we just looked at, we talked about.
I think low birth weight.
Right, so bull A has lower accuracy. So, for example, you can see that bull C still has 46. So bull C is only just a little bit lower at weaning weight than bull A, but bull C has an accuracy of 0.94. So that means that a lot of data has been collected on that bull, and they are fairly accurate. That plus 46 is an accurate number. So in this situation, you can decide, okay, do I want the benefit of those few extra pounds to go with bull A when I may or may not get them because that number is not as accurate? Or do I want to go with a proven bull like bull C who may give me a few less pounds, but I can at least guarantee those? Does everybody kind of see how that decision making works when you're looking at this kind of table? So it's basically just a trade-off. So it's up to the producer, it's up to whoever's buying the bull, but that's how you can use these PPDs to really decide which animal you want to buy or use for artificial insemination.
Just an observation. There's a relationship between accuracy numbers and what it is you're measuring based on the age of the animal you're talking about.
Yes.
Like the birth weight, this bull can start having kids showing up 9 months after he goes into the field, where wean weight's not going to start showing up until a year and a half after he's in business. Yearling weights may not start showing up until 2 years into his career. And as far as cows, they won't start. He's got to have kids that have grown up and had kids that are on start milking. So that's why that milk number, especially for bull age, is so low. He's probably a very young bull, and it's turned out very few cows that have actually gotten old enough to be mothers. So the first weight is the first thing that's going to happen. First, then weaning, then yearling weights. So those percentages are going to sort of drop down a little bit in order to compare. And they'll just keep it on still. Anyway,
So,
That's $1,000.
like you said,
Okay number, but he's a little under average.
Knowing how to read them and how they work can really help aid your decision.
So just by extension, that tells you bull A is younger than bull C. So if bull A and C, all the numbers were about the same, then you might consider bull A because he's younger, should have more years work for you. So
Right.
It's just another indicator.
There's actually a lot, there's even a lot more that goes into looking at this, but just to give you kind of the basic overview of kind of some information of how you look at it and what information it tells you. And Tom added some very, very good points as well, so thank you. So hopefully you all kind of for your lab understanding how these work.
Okay, any questions?
Friday at 9 o'clock.
Friday, 9 o'clock here in Alberta, 10 o'clock in Keysville. And we'll all hopefully ride the
At
same.
9 o'clock in Alberta, right?
Huh?
9 o'clock in Alberta, right?
Try that again, Yusef. I was confused.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock in Alberta?
Yes, 9 o'clock in Alberta, 10 o'clock there, and I'm going to do the math to make sure whether you have a big bang. We're all ready to go. So, if you haven't let me know whether you're going to be coming to the lab Friday, please let me know so I can make sure we have Okay, so you did it last year, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, y'all drive safe and remember your issues in animal science assignment is due next Friday. And have a great weekend, and I'll see some of you marketing people in 45 minutes.